What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. It's September now. It is summer to fall transition time, and you got bass on the move. Heck, you got one right up there shallow, just hanging out right there. This time of the year, bass are on the move, right? And the best bait that I found to catch them in that summer to fall transition is a swim bait. So we're gonna go underwater today. We're gonna talk about where I'm fishing swim baits, how I'm fishing them, and what baits you should be throwing to catch more bass this fall. Let's go. Jig, caught it, nice, right in the upper roof of the mouth. Got him. 2 casts. Let's go. Number 2. Got him. Nice healthy fish. 2 casts, ebb and flow upgrade jig, diesel minnow. It is a fish catching machine. Alright guys, first of all, swim baits are excellent baits to throw over top of cover and work in and out of staging areas. Up first we have the 1/8 ounce ebb and flow upgrade jig head with the Z-Man Minnow Z and Purple Demon. This is a 3-inch bait. This is what I'm going to start with. It really does a good job of mimicking fish and staying over top of existing vegetation. One thing in the fall, I got to work through all of this vegetation where fish sit down in the bottom of it and they ambush coming forward. So the Minnow Z and the ebb and flow upgrade jig head are built to be together. They literally are not going to pull off. You can fish it all season and you're going to catch a ton of fish on it. Plus I tend to catch a lot more pike around weed beds in the fall. So the Minnow Z is definitely not going to be hurt by that, and the ebb and flow jig head does an amazing job at really mimicking it. I like it in Purple Demon around smallmouth or in darker water because it just gives it a louder profile. Plus a lot of the bluegill that I see this time of year have that purple haze and glow to them, if you will. It's not a haze or a glow, it's that kind of how those bluegill show that iridescent purple color this time of year, at least where I'm from. This bait does a good job. I like it also in pinfish, and being a 3-inch bait, you can throw this anywhere and everywhere and it's going to catch fish. The thing that I like about the ebb and flow upgrade jig head is you can let it fall to the bottom and it's going to do a great job of actively being able to be fished just like a jig, because that jig head is going to stand up and you can swim it, and it's got a ton of rock and roll and head motion on, as you can see there. Just a very clean package that gets bit and does not break the bank, and you can fish these all season long. Now, profile is huge. Here is the 5-inch diesel minnow on a 1/4 ounce upgrade head, and you can see how much bigger that profile is than the 3-inch one. And literally, you know, that Houdini color is a really good color this time of year. It has a lot of different coloration in it, and for those off-colored water situations, it's great. But you want to be aware of the profile that your bait has, right? If you're around bigger bait, the 5-inch Z-Man is going to be better. If you're around smaller bait, the 3-inch Z-Man is going to be better. Profile can be everything when you're fishing a swim bait. Once again, that ebb and flow jig is making it able to be fished on those shell beds and hard bottom. Stand up just like a big TRD, right? Except it's a swim bait. I really like fishing these baits through those areas and zones, and it can be drugged through those rock to transition to weed zones and get a lot of bites. Letting it fall, fishing it like a worm is also a possibility. It's just a bait and a jig head that you can do a lot with. Up next we have, you know, our bigger 4.5 to 5-inch baits. So here you have a Flatlands Custom Tackle Shimmer Swinner in, you know, 3/8 ounce with a Bobcat Bumpkin Resurgence 4.5 to 5-inch bait. And I really like this when it's super weedy or the water is off, because that blade gives it an extra pop. Now, the things that I like about that bait are it's got a great head-to-head wobble, and I love fishing this through weed beds. You can see how these fish are darting and moving out of weed beds. This, when it hits weeds and pulling it free, is going to get absolutely nailed,
right? Here it is in Tennessee shad. I really like your transparent-ish swim baits when the water is clear, and those more matte ones when the water is dark or it's windy or cloudy. But those clear water situations, that purple with the transparent on it is going to do really good. And the Flatlands Custom Tackle Shimmer Swimmer comes through everything really, really well. As you can see, I'm fishing it through heavy cover here, and it's coming through super clean, which is something that's really important when you're fishing swim baits and heavy cover. I like to throw the blade, but I want to mix it up. When I want a different look on that swim bait, or when there's a lot of bait in the presence in the area, I like to throw that blade. So don't be afraid to fish swim baits through these areas, staging areas, points, pockets where those fish are going to corral up bait fish in the fall time of the year.
All right, guys, so when we're throwing swim baits, we really want to focus on the size of the bait fish that is present. Bait fish can be super small, they can be super big. You want to match your swim bait to that bait fish. Number two, you want to be able to fish transition areas and zones. So if we're looking at this big lake, those fish are going to start pinning up bait fish back into this zone over here where the main body of the lake is out there. Those fish are going to start finding these areas, pockets and coves to push bait fish. So match your bait size, match your bait color. The only exception is smallmouth. If you're around smallmouth, throw a crazy lure this time of year, they're going to hammer it because they're keyed in on bait fish, and that one that sticks out, boom. If the water's got a little murk to it, or you got a little chop to the water, throw that underspin on there. Guys, if you want to pick up any of these baits, head on over to ebbandflowoutdoors.com or Vantage Tackle. Pick up these swim baits there. Help out those American-made manufacturers. Guys, it's been fun hanging out with you today. Hope you learned something. See you next time.